Hey there, welcome back to another video. It's me, Krashy here. Today I'm going to be doing something a bit different. I have recently started playing this game, and as you can tell by the title, it is called Battlerite. And it's a very fun game, and I just kind of want to do my review for the game. This is a pretty long gameplay, which is usually hard to do in Battlerite, but it's about 10 minutes, which is the max amount of time you can have just about for a Battlerite game. And like I said, I just wanted to give my review on it. So, first of all, you're watching a 3v3 arena, and that's pretty much what Battlerite is. It's a 2v2 and 3v3 arena brawler. You have 15 heroes, you get in the game, and you fight. And it's very similar to what you would expect out of World of Warcraft arenas, but also very similar to kind of the MOBA playstyle. You have a set number of abilities, and you know, you have a set goal to try to kill someone. So more or less it's a very simplified type of fight, and there are some other aspects in it, like controlling the mid orbs and getting ult counters and orbs and health orbs and stuff like that. So there's a lot of depth and mastery that I believe you could find in this game, but let's get into it. So Battlerite, like I said, is an arena brawler, and it's 2v2 and 3v3. And the premise of it is competitive PvP. There's only ranked mode. There's no unranked mode. You just play. There's versus AI for practice and kind of like a training practice mode. But more or less, you are playing competitive PvP. Now this I particularly love for the fact that it's a game that's being specifically developed and made for competitive PvP is really awesome. It gives you a lot to look forward to, because you know that's the main aspect. You know that's definitely what they're going to be going after, so that's really cool. I believe each hero has somewhere like 8 or 9 abilities after you factor in EX abilities, and EX abilities are actually really interesting because this is kind of the more depth that I was talking about. EX abilities are abilities that you already have normally, but you are going to be building energy toward your ultimate, and you could actually spend some of that energy to do kind of like a separate move or an empowered version of one of your skill sets already. So that adds a lot of depth, because you have to know when it would be best to use those EX bars and such like that. So there are 3 primary roles in Battlerite. Battlerite consists of support, ranged, and melee. In this 3v3, our team consists of 2 ranged and 1 support. The other team consists of 2 ranged and 1 support. But there are a lot of strong melee, and there are a lot of strong supports and ranged as well. So it's really cool. So far, I would have to say I'm pretty impressed with the balance. There are a couple people that are a little on the high side, and maybe one person who's a little on the weak side. But overall, the balance is very strong in this game. It's just innately very strong. So in terms of the game itself, it is currently in pre-release on Steam. It is $19.99. And probably the best thing about the pre-release is the fact that if you buy into the pre-release, you are going to get kind of like the Smite Ultimate Pack. You get every god, or every character, sorry, that's created in the game currently, and that is going to be coming out. So currently there are 15, 5 of each class, 5 supports, 5 melee, and 5 ranged. And any that come out will be yours if you buy the game. So pretty awesome. It is being developed by Stunlock, which is a Swedish developer, so not someone I'm super familiar with, but someone who seems to be putting in a lot of work. And obviously this game is very inspired by Bloodline Champions. Now, me personally, I never played Bloodline Champions, but I do have some MOBA experience, so I feel like that slightly transferred over, but the controls are very different. You actually walk with WASD, which is very different for MOBA. You know, you're not just clicking around. Your aimer and your cursor is primarily used for aim, and that's another thing that's very fun. You actually have to aim. It's not just clicking on someone. So the abilities are pretty diverse, and the other aspect that comes into this game is mounts, and that's really fun as well, because a lot of this game probably won't use mounts very often, but you will get some time in with them, especially at the start of the round, sometimes mid-round if you have some spacing abilities and you know, the ability to hop back on your mount, or the time to hop back on your mount. So it's pretty unique. It's unique for how fast-paced these games are and how quick it is. Every game is a best of 5. You can see the counter at the top of the screen above. You can see they have 2 points currently. And so the goal is to get 3 points. And like I said, it's very fast-paced. The games aren't super long, but they have a lot of weight to them in terms of strategy, in terms of how you want to play it. I could see, having strong communication on this game being a very strong factor in how well you do. And ultimately, it's just a really, really well done game. So, with all that said, of course I do have my nitpicks or my dislikes, and I gotta get into some of those, unfortunately. So, as I said, more or less, I think the game is very balanced. But for some reason, to me, the healing role feels amazingly prevalent. I don't want to say that they're all super OP, because I don't necessarily feel that, even though I do say that whenever I play the game and die to supports. But some supports feel like damage dealers, and some supports are just very, very hard to deal with. Pearl, the support that's on my team specifically, and Sirius, the guy who we are fighting in this corner now, is actually considered to be one of the weaker supports and is very, very strong. So that's kind of one of the things about the balance that I'm not too sure of. But I don't want supports to be useless, because then you'll see compositions that come down to 3 damage being stronger. So I don't know. That's just my opinion off the top of my head. The other issue I have, I suppose, which I really haven't even talked about the business model, and I'd like to do that, so we'll get to that in just a second. The other issue I have is the ranking system as a whole. Now, the current ranking system has actually been discussed by the developers in an AMA, saying that they want to redo it in some way. But on pen and paper, bare bones as it is, the ranking system is actually pretty brilliant. It's essentially just an MMR system. I mean, you play games depending on your performance and how you do versus who you are against, you gain points. Now, I believe the MMR system ranges from, anywhere in the hundreds up to 5,500, I believe, is the max. And, so it's an MMR type system, and you get a matchmaking rating, and you play within that rating, and they are actually place you into what's called grades. I believe there's 15 grades. The higher the grade, the higher your MMR. So in this, I believe I'm currently grade 10, which is around 2,700 MMR, and the problem with this is that it's just not working well, or I don't know, I don't want to say that the player base isn't there, because there are a lot of people playing, but essentially I lose on average about 4 times as much as I gain, meaning you have to go on ridiculous win streaks. And not only that, you gain very little. I mean, I have games where I gain 2, 4, 6, and each grade is 500 points apart. So I have to go from 2,700 up to 3,000, and on average, I'm earning about, I don't know, let's say 7 or 8 points a win. So you can do the math. 300 divided by 7 is the number of consecutive games I would have to win to go up 3 points. It's just a very grindy, and not even just grindy, a very impossible type feeling system that is very, very unrewarding when you have an amazing game like you're seeing now, where we were down and we are about to reverse sweep it. So the ranking system is not the best. Really, again, those are, I think, the only nitpicks or the only issues I have with the game. And I do want to discuss the business model, because I think it's something that's very important. The game does have microtransactions built in, of course, for monetization, and they have the ability to customize your characters by using in-game currency that you will acquire over time in playing, or spending money to buy crates that have the ability to unlock in-game items, skins, weapons, poses, things like that. So very, very similar to what you would see in Overwatch, in-game crates, not just the outright purchase of whatever you're looking for. You're paying for the chance to get it, or you're playing for the ability to kind of craft it in a way. So a very good system, monetization there for the developers. It doesn't feel unfair or pay to get what you want right away, unless you really do just want to spam a bunch of money for the boxes. And some will do that, and that's totally fine because none of it affects in-game performance at all anyway. So, as this game comes to a close, I guess my overall thoughts on Battlerite is that the game is absolutely incredible. I think it leaves so much room for amazing competition and a great time. I just unfortunately am a little off on the balance of the characters, but it's very, very close. It's great. I really don't even know if I can complain about that. And as you can see coming up here in a second, the rank system after an amazing game, a solid 4 points when I need 500 to go from grade to grade. So it's just not a rewarding system, and I hope to see more coming from this game, and hopefully you guys pick it up, because currently pre-release on Steam is going to get you a great value for your money. So check out Battlerite. If I had to give it a rating, it would definitely be a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.